and enjoyed watching your movie last night. I think it's just, first I'll just even start out with the animation. It just took me back, to the way some things looked like when I was a kid growing up, that
Mm,
type of animation and that type of just magical look. So
mm.
tell me a little bit about that, Ross. How did that all come about using that technique?
Well, I suppose we trained in hand drawn animation in college, and from leaving college, we were given maybe a choice to go off and work in computer games, or to emigrate and try and find another job, or else to try and do something ourselves. And luckily, Tom and Paul had the idea of starting up a cartoon saloon, so they brought a few of us down to Kilkenny, and we just kept at it. And luckily, we were able to keep pay the bills for all these years. And I think like after making Secret of Kells and getting the nomination, it opened up so many doors for Cartoon Saloon, and it allowed us to keep on doing hand drawn animation like that. And it's what we love doing in the studio. Like there's illustrators here and comic book artists and even printmakers and sculptors and everything. And so nearly everyone here is very focused on that kind of craft, the handmade aspect. And for Wolfwalkers, then we wanted to maybe really make that a high point, showing maybe making it the high point of handmade art that can be made in Cartoon Saloon, using the techniques that we are so used to here.
Very
Um,
cool. And say, well, very nice and unique look. And Tom, just talk a little bit about how the whole project got started. What was it about it for you that just meant,
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
it
we got
was
to do it?
yeah, it was a sense that Ross and I wanted to make a kind of final piece to after Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea. We thought like a third film would be nice to have a final bite of the apple and try and explore a lot of the techniques and ideas that we'd learned from the previous productions. And we came up with a story that was really based on themes that we were really inspired by, that stuff that we felt needed to be spoken about and that we felt would carry us over the whole length of a production because they take so long. I mean, this was like 7 years. So 7 years ago, we had the idea to mix up the local folklore from our region here in Kilkenny about the werewolves or the man wolves of Ossory, and the history of when the wolves were exterminated in Ireland. And we just thought there was a germ of a story there where we could talk about empathy if a hunter decided to change sides and see the world from the point of view of that which he was hunting or she was hunting. So that kind of was just the germ, and that we kept on refining and working on over the years.
And you're absolutely right. That was definitely one thing that did stick out, about the story, is that as we as humans, we're always fearful and afraid of the things that we don't know because to an extent we don't want to know them. But
mhm.
then, like in this movie, Ross, it was just one of those things where the more she got to know, the fear went away, and all of a sudden it's this great friendship that comes about.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we wanted to speak to definitely about the polarization that happens in society and how sometimes children can be friends with that other group, whether it's immigrants or another religion or another society or even the neighbors that you're told like, oh, they're bad people, stay away from them. Like we humans, as you say, are great at dividing ourselves. And children will play with each other in a playground without those boundaries. Meanwhile, while the adults stand back and go, "Oh, they shouldn't be mixing like that." So it's one of the things that we wanted to speak to, and then also what we see a lot has happened throughout history, and especially today, is that leaders of a country or leaders of a society will use that fear and the division to control society, and they'll stir up that fear and that hatred, and maybe say that like all our problems are because of that group or that people or that species, and it's a lot of the time it's lies. And as you say, the more you get to actually know this group that you're supposed to be afraid of or that you're supposed to fear, you'll realize how much you have in common and that we can actually all work together.
Absolutely. Ross, Tom, thank you both very, very much for your time, and thank you very much for this beautiful film.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Have a good day. Thanks.
Hi, how are you both?
Good,
I'm
thank
great.
you.
How are
How are
you?
you?
Doing well, doing well.
Greg, we are recording and I'll message you in the chat function.
Oh, I couldn't hear that last part.
I'm going to message you in the chat function and we're recording.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. All right. Greg Russell here in Detroit. Good to see you both, Honor. Ava, how are you doing today?
Good, thank
Great.
you. How are you?
Good, good. Well, enjoyed your movie very much last night, and also hearing your voices. Uh, Honor, tell us a little bit about the character you play in this film.
So I play Robin, and she comes into this new village with her father, and it's just her settling in. She's a very brave, independent, strong girl, and it's just her journey of kind of finding herself throughout the film, and then obviously she finds Maeve as well.
That's right, and I was going to say, but yeah, tell us about your character. Very interesting one.
Yeah. Well, Maeve is a feisty little wild girl who lives in the forest with a pack of wolves. And because she's grown up in the forest, she really has no inhibitions. So she doesn't hold back. So you can always tell how she's feeling throughout the film. And she's a wolf walker, which means she has the ability to turn into a wolf when she falls asleep.
I was going to say that would be a heck of a thing to do. You wake up, and the next thing you know, you're all hairy, and everything's all over the place. And Honor, your character, I mean, she had just this, like you said, unique story where she moved with her dad, and he kind of just really wanted her to stay home, but she was just rather adventurous, right?
100%. She never really listened to her father and was very much a rebel and just wanted to do what he was doing, really, because he was obviously a wolf hunter. So she just wanted to follow her father's footsteps.
And that, yeah, she did, because like you said, there are a lot of, all types of different things going on. And Ava, just a whole interesting story, because once again, it goes to show people that you may be afraid of something that you don't know, but then once you get to know the person or the, whatever, it's like, hey, everybody's all the same. We're all just, happy folk.
Yeah, it really shows that you shouldn't fear or judge someone that you haven't yet got to know or understand, and especially with Maeve because she was quite fearful of Robin at the start because obviously she was a townsperson and the town are kind of cutting down her forest and trying to kill her pack, which is her family.
Yeah, and that's not right, not good at all. But also another unique thing. Start with you on this one, Honor, is just the way the animation looked. I mean, it was kind of like it reminded me of the way the look used to be when I was growing up. So it's very beautiful and magical to look at.
It looks so beautiful. I mean, we only saw really some of the rough sketches. So to now see the final thing, it's crazy and it looks amazing. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about this specific type of animation of how great it really looks.
And what about for you, Ava? What was it like when you got to see what the artistry looked like?
It was really beautiful, just like Honor said. But I think it's really unlike anything that I've ever seen before, and it's such an amazing story, and it's really beautiful to watch.
And that it is. And I look forward to having my grandchildren, who will be over this weekend. I look forward to having them watch it, and I'm going to tell them, hear those voices? I talk to them. So I know that that'll make them all very, very happy.
uh,
But uh, but again, yeah, thank you both so much for your time. And like I said, really enjoyed the movie. And just, you know, keep everything up and going. You're both two very nice and charming young ladies. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.